So we're traveling north on I-75 in Florida, and here's a concept that took me a while to wrap my head around. I've been driving this car for about a year now, and it's just recently that I've kind of figured out the difference between rated range, which is this thin gray line down here, it says rated, and your average projected range based on your driving. So right now, our rated range is 83 miles. That's what we've got left in the tank according to if we drove this way. And if we drive this way, which is how we are driving, we have 60 miles of projected range. And you have control over that by how you drive. So basically, the faster you drive, the more energy you're going to use because your car is encountering wind resistance. And so if you're driving along and you really want to know, oh gosh, do I really have 82 miles in the tank? Just look here on this graph and see how you've been driving for the past few miles, and then you'll see. So in this case, no, we don't have 82 miles in the tank if we keep driving this way. We have 60 miles in the tank. Now let's say we needed to have 82 miles in the tank. All I need to do, so I'm driving 75 miles an hour now, I'm going to drop our speed. So I was driving 75, I'm going to drive 60. And we're changing our average to 5 miles so you can see this happen quicker. So you're going to see pretty shortly that this line is going to drop. Yep, there it goes. And that shows that we're now using well below the average we had been driving and even below the rated miles we had been driving. And pretty soon this number is going to get updated as we drive further. It's going to project our range getting higher and higher. So the other things you can do, not only speed is the biggest one you can do, but the other things you can do is you can cut some of your other energy consumption like heat or air conditioning. So you could shut off your air conditioner, you could turn off your seat warmers, you can lower your car suspension if you have that, and so if you get lower to the ground you get better air resistance. So you can see already that our projected range is going up, and we're well below now our rated range. So all you have to do is just change your driving pattern so that you're below the rated range, and then you'll know that you'll have the power you need. The other big thing is acceleration. So if you're in autopilot like I am now, and say you've set it for 75 and the car in front of you is going 65, as soon as he pulls out into the next lane, your car is going to speed up to fill up that gap, and it's going to speed up very fast. That acceleration is going to use a lot of energy. So another thing you can do to save energy is take it off autopilot and do your own driving, and don't be a lead foot. And that way you won't have big acceleration boosts, which will take a lot of energy. You'll just be more smooth with your acceleration, very slow acceleration, and that'll make a huge difference. Again, we just went up a hill, and that's why you're seeing this peak happen here. And over here is showing your average watt hours per mile, 418. You can see that this average line is moving as we drive. It's getting closer now to our rated range. It's dropping. And this is just the kind of thing that it takes a long while, at least for me it did, driving an electric car. We're so used to miles per gallon. Our brains are kind of programmed for that because we've been driving gas cars for so long, that when you get into an electric car, now you have to start thinking of watt hours per mile. That just seems weird. And then there's these new numbers you have to get used to, like 400 watt hours per mile. That doesn't mean anything to you. And so it takes a while before your brain starts to put a value to those numbers. So I don't know if you can see this, but our average range is getting much closer to our rated range, and I've only been driving this way for about, 5 miles or less. And you can see that our projected range has been getting higher. All right, well, I hope you found this little tutorial on your range helpful, and hopefully these Florida drivers won't kill me. All right, so our first supercharger that we're going to be reviewing here is the OCALA Florida Supercharger. That was our 19th new one. Mm-hmm. That was a 8-stall,
yep,
the new type. It was cold for us when we got there. It was 55 degrees, which after being in the Keys felt really cold. I know we shouldn't complain.
Yeah, we were still wearing our shorts.
I know.
And I don't think it was truly 55. I think it was 40.
I'm going to give that one a 7. How about you?
I think I'd give it a 6. It's kind of far walk from all of the different places, but there are lots of different places to walk to.
There were, yeah, Panera's and a Mexican place and a Japanese place and lots of food options, lots of shopping options. It was a nice little mall,
mm-hmm,
and it was easy off the highway. It was just like a block off the highway. So, right. Yeah, it was a pretty good supercharger.
Yeah, and there's lots of places to stay nearby. I have to take off the point for being a little too far away from most of the things. I think it could have been right in the center of the mall, and you would have been able to walk to basically anywhere.
I thought you were taking a point off because it was cold out.
No.
And that wouldn't have been fair. All right, so OCALA was last night. We are now at the Lake City, Florida Supercharger. This is our 20th Supercharger, and this is a 6-stall, and it's the new type. We arrived here about 8:25 this morning, and I want to point out that that this Supercharger, you're at the back of a mall again. And this time, this mall doesn't seem to have a whole lot in it. We had to go a couple blocks away to find a Dunkin' Donuts to get something to eat, go to the bathroom.
Right.
So I'm giving this one a 4 because and not only that, but I mean, I'm not going to blame it always this way, but there's construction going on, so we had to pull like through a back alley to get here.
Right.
It's easy off highway, but there's really nothing around here that's easy. You have to drive a couple blocks.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 because I don't even think a lot of these stores are open, so if we had to go to the bathroom, we would have to go really far. We'd probably have to drive there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I'm going to give it a 3.
There is a trash can here, though, and that's a plus. Many people have been talking to us about other trash cans at Superchargers, and usually they're not, but this one there is.
All right, so
So we're going to do another questions from the road or answers from the road. This question comes from Matt Obadia. When do you think the new cells will be put into the S and X, and will their prices drop once the Gigafactory is running and at full capacity?
We all know that the 18650s are the cells that are in the S and X at the moment,
Yep.
and that the 2170 cells, which are the newer energy-dense cells, are being made at the Gigafactory now, and they're going to be going into the Model 3. So your question is, when will they be going to the Model S and X? Who knows? But my guess is that it'll be right around the time the Model 3 comes out. So my guess would be around July. What do
Yep.
you think, Jess?
Yeah, so I mean the 2170 batteries are going into the Model 3.
Yep.
They're also going into the power packs,
And
power walls.
Twos, yep.
So we know that. And
Yeah, for economy of scale reasons, I would think that
That
at
would
some
make
point
sense.
you'd switch over and just want to do all 2170s. And in terms of price drop, I don't think we can wrap our head around this. This is the same technological curve as any other technology. The price is dropping exponentially.
right.
And so it's going to continue to drop, and it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to continue to drop until the battery pack now is the biggest cost of the car.
Right.
Single cost. And it's going to become, I think, on par with one of the lowest price points on the car. Because I think as not just Gigafactory, but other manufacturers start pumping out batteries, the cost is going to just drop and drop and drop until it's not a big factor at all. That's just me.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to think that way now because it's such a huge cost, but I don't think we can imagine what it's going to be like when we're pumping out so many batteries. Also, just the technology of the battery, I think, is going to change dramatically from what it is today. We all have concerns about cold, operating batteries in the cold. I think that's going to change soon. We have worries about the fact that lithium ion is very reactive with oxygen and water, so that it can explode. That's going to all change, I think, as we get better battery technology.
Yep.
Energy density is going to become more dense. It's just all of this is going to get better and better as we go.
All right, so we're here at the TIFTON, Georgia Supercharger. It's an 8-stall. It's the new style Supercharger with the glowing lights. It's kind of in a little weird spot, I think. It's right next to the highway. It's not really next to anything. It sort of sticks out, I think. It is next to a Starbucks and an Olive Garden. Those are both within walking distance. Yep. You could probably also make it over to the Ruby Tuesdays and maybe the Wendy's if you were really craving Wendy's.
I have to jump a fence.
Yeah. There's some hotels in the area. I think you'd probably want to drive to those, though. Overall,
no trash barrels.
there's no trash barrels
I'm
around.
on the alert for trash barrels.
There's no trash barrels around here. You're definitely not going to get iced, but that's because no one would want to park here anyway.
It is a pull-in.
there is one pull-in,
which is cool.
which is kind of cool.
And it's only a block off the highway, so that's easy.
It's not bad.
What are you giving it?
I think I'll give it a 6, just because I'm not totally blown away by the micro location. I like the macro location on the map. It's a good place to stop, but in terms of the location around here, I think they probably could have done a little bit better.
So picky. I'll give it a 7. I like the fact that it's right next to a Starbucks. That means that your coffee and Wi-Fi and bathrooms are taken care of. And I mean, yes, there's no shopping. Like, you'd have to go driving for that. But other than that, your basic needs are taken care of here.
Yeah. I just want to point out that all of these ratings are based off of, what we think and also where we are in the country. So, I mean, if we're right on Key West, we're going to grade it a little harsher than if we are in the middle of Georgia. So, if you're wondering, like, hey, why does this get a better score than somewhere else? It's probably because of that.
Also, because we're not that scientific.
No.
And also, it depends on our mood when we get here.
Depends on the mood and that sort of thing. So, all right, we'll keep driving.
So we just figured something out that must be obvious to a lot of you, but to us it was not so obvious. We're so lucky when we get to many superchargers, they're fairly empty. We don't have to park next to anyone. But this time in Macon, Georgia, we parked right next to another X, and we were only pulling about 70 kilowatts. And when he pulled out, we thought, oh, this is great, our kilowatts will go up, but they didn't. Jesse said, hey, what if I go out, pull out the charger and put it back in? He did. And our kilowatts went up to 85. So the little tip there, if you are parked next to somebody and they pull out, unplug, plug back in, and it should reset. I'm not sure why that doesn't happen automatically, though. So we're at the Macon, Georgia Supercharger. It's an 8-stall. It's in kind of a funky downtown location next to the Tubman Museum. So Jesse took out his solar panels. It's a flexible, portable solar pack, and he put it on the windshield of the X here, and he's gonna charge up his cell phone. Oh, he's doubling it as a sunshade for himself and a solar panel for his phone. How many bars of how fast do you think it'll charge you?
2 amps.
2 amps. Wow.
At 5 volts.
5 volts, 2 amps. Solar powered. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's the underside of Jesse's solar array that he's put on the roof, and he's charging up his phone right now.
Okay, so we're here at the Macon, Georgia Supercharger. It's an 8-stall. It's a little far off the highway, so I don't think I liked it very much. It's right next to the Tubman Museum of African Art, History, and Culture, but I think that's pretty much all that's around. There's not too many other amenities. I think that if the museum was closed, there wouldn't be any place to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to be giving this one a 3. I did not like how far it is off the highway, and it was busy when we got here. I was going to give it a 4, but now it's going to get a 3.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2. There's just no amenities if that museum is closed, and I'll bet there's many times you'll get here and that'll be closed. Also, it is kind of a sketchy location at night. I bet this is kind of a dark, scary parking lot location, so unfortunately I'm giving it a 2. But we did meet some nice people.
Yep. We got some really cool Tesla stickers.
Yeah,
Can't wait to put
it's so
this.
nice meeting people at Tesla time, you know?
Yeah. Can't wait to put this on the Leaf.
Are you allowed to put that on the Leaf?
Yeah.
Even though you don't have a Model 3 yet?
It's signed up.
I think you have to put the word reservation at the
No,
bottom.
no, you don't.
You don't?
After this, we're going to the Whistle Stop Cafe, which is in Juliet, Georgia.
Yeah.
It is where the movie Fried Green Tomatoes was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get some fried green tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking forward to that, and we'll see you there. make your way to the Whistle Stop Cafe from Macon, Georgia, and also make it to the Augusta Supercharger, you're going to need about 210 miles of range. We weren't driving particularly hard, and we're going to have 15% when we get to Augusta. So just make sure that you have plenty of charge, because it does take you a little bit out of your way.
Yeah, and unfortunately at the moment we can't do way stops, waypoints yet on our nav, so we don't know. We can't do the exact calculation in the car, which is kind of crummy.
Right.
Hopefully in the future, maybe some updates will fix that.
Yep. All right, we're at the Augusta, Georgia Supercharger.
Number 23.
Awesome. This is an 8-stall supercharger, the new type. I think that I would give it a 5. It's off the highway, but it's a little hard to find.
Really hard to find.
I mean, it's...
Let me give you a tip if you're coming here.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Sheraton/Hilton parking lot.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to find, even though the dot's in the right place on the map. It's just there's so many driveways and so
And they're
hard.
all at different levels, so you can't get
Yeah.
between them. I mean, I like it, but there's no food that I can see within a reasonable distance.
Yeah, it's all hotels. So there's plenty of hotels here if that's what you're coming here for. There's a Holiday Inn Express, a Hilton Garden, and a Sheraton.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's bathrooms then, obviously you can go in the lobbies. But yeah, no coffee, Wi-Fi, shops, food.
Yep.
So
Right.
yeah, I give it a 4 because hard to find and not all the things you need.
Okay.
We're at the Columbia, South Carolina 8-stall supercharger. These are the new kind, and this was pretty easy off the highway, I would say.
Yep. We had to take a few
Few turns.
to get there. I'm not sure if it's the GPS or not.
Okay. The only kind of downside here, which is going to take a lot of points off, is that it's in the back parking lot of a Hilton Garden Inn. So if you need a hotel like we do, it's a plus. But if you're here and you need coffee or bathroom, I guess you could probably walk around the hotel and get into the lobby, so there's a bathroom.
Right.
But other than that, there's no food or anything within walking distance.
That's true.
So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah,
How about
I
you?
think I'd give it a 4 too, just because for being near a city, I was expecting a mall with all the amenities.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.